Today we're gonna see what you can use to have really great quality videos on YouTube and even on your phone, and everything is gonna be listed out down below. There's gonna be all the links for it, Amazon links for it, because I'm using most of my stuff or buying most of my stuff through Amazon. Let's just get to it right after. Welcome back to my channel. Salut les amis, bienvenue pour retour sur ma chaîne. Hola, bienvenue dans mon canal. Konnichiwa, watashi no channel ni yokoso. I hope you're doing fine today. This is another day, another week, and another video of me. And as you can see by the title, we're gonna talk about gear. This is like one of my favorite topics to talk about because I'm really geeky when it comes to everything gear, camera, equipment, and all that stuff. And it's just a passion to always try to improve your quality videos, because this is how you get to have more views on YouTube or even on Instagram. Well, I'm Lady Tomo, I'm a content creator and a coach, and I'm dedicated and passionate about helping creative women entrepreneurs scale up their businesses using video content strategies. And I'm talking about personal brand with soul because I believe in being human to be able to build connection. It's all about having quality people, not quantity people. Here, before anything else, is that you don't need to have a specific type of equipment to even start your YouTube channel. If you want to get a quality video just like the one you're watching at the moment, it takes practice, it takes time, it takes work, it takes your own confidence. I'm focusing myself on the mindset before even getting to the camera equipment part of it. You can buy all the equipment you want. At the end of the day, if you're not confident, nothing is gonna happen. I'm sorry to let you know that, but I'm not sorry. Know why you're doing it and really focus back on it every time that you feel a little bit more down, because it's just a process, it's just the path, it's just the way it is in general. So for you to be able to really get and keep the focus where it should be and really stay motivated whenever you need to be motivated, you need to have a strong why, you need to have a strong mindset, and that's something that you have to cultivate all the time. It's not something that you do once, it's something that you do every single day. So you need to ask yourself why every single day. Why are you doing that? Why are you going with it? What is your goal? And don't forget, goals, they can change. They change a lot. They change throughout life. They change throughout phases. They change throughout episodes of life. So you can have a niche right now and pivot at some point. And I'm gonna talk about it because this has been my own journey. Pivoting, not knowing what I wanted to do, and really getting to the branding without even knowing that I was already working on it in some type of way, if that makes sense. After all this blah blah blah, I'm gonna be focusing on three main things: the camera, the lighting, and then the space that you're gonna use to do your video. Have that signature style that only you can have at the end of the day. Have a couple of add-ons to really improve the quality of your videos, and really using the software, or what kind of software you can use and what kind of thing you can actually do to make it even better. We're gonna start with the camera, and I'm gonna talk about the audio as well. Camera that I'm using is Canon M50, and I got it I think at the beginning of this year. Before that I had a Canon T5i, and I ended up selling it to one of my friends that actually started her own YouTube channel. I just wanted to be sure where I was going with it, and when I started my YouTube channel, not this one, but my other one, I was doing so many things. I was doing fashion, branding, camera, mindset, confidence. There was a couple of mix, but it started with fashion in mind. It started with the confidence through the clothing in mind. Now what I decided to do after that was to go through what kind of camera I could equip myself after it, because there was an evolution in terms of how I was using my gear, how I was using the camera, how I was properly like getting better at setting up everything. It took a time to actually decide to get the Canon M50. In terms of the quality and what you can get out of it, the price is just almost unbeatable. For that quality of video, you can literally end up buying a 2000 camera gear equipment just for the camera itself, not for the lighting, not for the accessories, not for anything else. Sometimes it's just the camera. And the more you're gonna get to the really professional camera, the more it's gonna get expensive. So with the Canon M50, it was a really great balance, because I was like, let me try with a newer camera. I had a couple of points that I already wanted to improve, and I was kind of getting tired with a lot of things that I couldn't do with the Canon T3i, but that I could do with the Canon M50. If you already had a camera before and you know there's a couple of things that you want to improve, go with those points that you want to improve and then buy a camera with that in mind. So for the Canon M50, it's pretty great when it comes to autofocus. Quality of videos, it's actually really good for the price, and I think I ended up getting it at 750 Canadian dollars. The other great part about the Canon M50 is that it's light, it's small, and I think I was traumatized with the Canon T3i because it was so big, it was a bit bulkier, so everything that I wanted to do, it was just heavy, and I didn't like it anymore after all those years. Everything that I'm talking to you about is gonna be on my description box below because I actually got everything from Amazon. Canon M50 comes with a 50mm lens, which is not the best when it comes to really have quality videos. You can see the blurry effect and make it in a way where it was a little bit more cinematic, or where there was that distance where I could create a blurry background, and I couldn't do that with the Canon M50 lens that came along with it because the quality was not there and it was just not up to that. This is where it's gonna get a little bit technical here, but I'm gonna do my best to make it as simple as I can. The lens that I ended up going with was a Sigma EF mount 30mm for the Canon. The Canon M50 has a limited amount of lens that you can plug in without having to have an adapter, and that's because the Canon M50, the type of lens, is really specific. So when you want to, let's say, upgrade your lens game or really have a different type of lens or different variety of lens for the Canon M50, most of the time you need to get an adapter. You need to get either another camera or another Canon camera which has a lot more options when it comes to the type of lens that you can get, or if you want to go with the Canon M50, you need to grab an adapter. I had a couple of options. Sigma lenses are really amazing, as you can see here. They launched a couple of lenses specifically for the EF mount, and the EF mount is literally the Canon M50. That's why you have the M50 and not just Canon. And EF mount lenses are just great for the Canon M50, for example, or any type of M mount. Sigma launched 3 types of lens for the Canon M50. There was the 30mm, the 70 to 80mm, and there was the 50-20mm as well. By having that type of lens, you don't need to grab an adapter. But the problem is that whenever you're gonna look to upgrade your camera, for example, this is not gonna be the type of lens that you're gonna be able to use for other type of camera. That's something that you need to keep in mind. Me, I decided to go with that without the adapter because I know for the little things that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be good with just having this lens for the moment because I'm not gonna go out anytime soon. If I need anything else, it's probably gonna be more so sit down type of video. So when it comes to the type of lens, when it comes to the fact that I don't have an adapter, I'm pretty much good with it, and probably a couple of months down the road. When it comes to create that blurry effect, that's exactly the reason why I got the Sigma lens, because it was something that I was looking to do again and again and again. And the way that you can create that blurry effect is based on 3 things when it comes to setting up your camera. It's the ISO, the aperture, and then the shutter speed. I'm really gonna go deep into it in another video because it can be pretty technical, because when you get to set up your video or set up your camera the way it should be, your videos are just a ton better. So sometimes you don't need to buy an expensive camera, you just need to understand the camera that you already have. I'm gonna focus myself here on the aperture because the lower it is, the more you can create a better blurry effect like that. If you want to do night videos, it's gonna be amazing because the camera is then able to let a lot of light in without creating a noise or just a really nasty effect on your video. And I had that when I had my previous lens coming with the Canon M50. If I was going too low, the quality of video was just like going to another type of thing that I didn't like, and I was not a fan of at all. That is something that I really teach in depth into my coaching program, how to best use your camera equipment, how to best use the camera that you have at the moment, and really understand all the settings and how you can improve something. It was at 400 Canadian dollars. So next step is the audio. The audio is as important as the video is. People are losing their attention and they're not gonna be able to keep watching your video. You're gonna lose that attention and you're gonna get less watch time, because it's definitely the most important thing on YouTube. And what I got was the Rode Micro. I used to have the little Micro that I had attached. I wanted something that I could put on the camera, being able to move around. It was still in the budget, and I didn't want to go with the biggest one because it was a lot more expensive. In terms of quality, I could get the same or similar type of quality audio as I got with that one. It's also great for a couple of smartphones, but you want to have an adapter if you want to use that for your iPhone. Buy a boom hole. That is something where you can mount the Micro and really keep it a little bit close to your mouth or close to your face so that the quality is even gonna get better. I have a boom pole here, but I use it for another light. Let's talk about a way to stabilize your videos. Same time, it makes your videos being a lot more pro. And the tripod that I have here is from Newer. I love this one. It's 177 centimeters, and you can have it three ways. You can have a tripod, you can have a monopod, and you can have another type of pod. And you have a space where you can actually hang your bag or your camera bag, if anything, or if you're shooting outside, which is amazing as well. Not flimsy or anything. You can feel the quality and you can feel how durable it's gonna be. Because I'm always filming sitting down, I don't need to have it to use to the maximum height ever, so that pretty much leaves you room if you need to have something where you need to get up or stay up to be able to film, or if you need to sit down. Let's talk about lighting, my favorite subject ever, because I'm playing around with it all the time. You can see on my videos that sometimes it's a little bit darker, sometimes it's a little bit brighter on signature style and what kind of vibe that I want to go with. When I was doing my first couple of videos 10 years back, I used to use the natural light all the time, and usually you want to start with that because the natural light is a lot softer to your face, so it's not gonna be as harsh. When you have the big light on your face, you want to make sure that you have a diffuser. Let the light being diffused and really being able to be on your face. It's a lot more cute way. It's just like the sunlight hitting you the harsh way, like at noon for example. This is gonna be the worst for you and your videos. If you go to the sundown when it's like in the evening or really early in the morning, this is where you get to have the best light ever. The same principle or the same concept applies here. When you have a light, make sure that even if you have an artificial light, it's not necessarily so harsh, and you don't want it to be something where you're gonna be washed out either. Like when you use a natural light, a lot softer to your face and it's straight. So you don't need to do much. The days are getting shorter, so usually if you don't have time during the days, maybe you're not gonna be able to record your videos, or you have to adjust the scheduling or just recording your videos at certain days or certain hours. And if during those hours you're busy, you need to be able to make it work still. And on YouTube, it's all about being consistent, so you can't necessarily always use the excuse to not have the time to record your videos, you know what I mean? So if you want to be consistent, it's a way where when you have an artificial light, even when there is no sun outside, you are still able to record your videos no matter what. Talking about artificial light now, the one that I use is the ring light from Newer again. Love the brand, like I said before, and everything I got was from Amazon, so all the links are gonna be down below as well. But what I love about it is one of the newest ring lights because there's always a diffuser. You're gonna have a blend of cooler tone or warmer tone as well, so it's really up to you to adjust it the way you want and the way you want it to show to your face or your videos in general. Have that darker complexion, to use a warm type of tone at the same time, because if you just have the cooler tone, sometimes it could wash you out or just make you look a little bit more gray. To take advantage of something cooler and warm at the same time. The Newer ring light here does exactly that. You can adjust the intensity of both lights as well, that not only it can hold the camera, it can hold the phone as well, because it comes with the phone stand as well. So that's amazing when you want to do the reels, when you want to do stories or IGTVs. Be able to work with the greatest light ever and really have to create a cinematic look. Not everybody has to do it, but that's something that I do. I did a video on it, how to film your very first video on YouTube. It's all about working on 3 light sources when you're filming. You have the key light to create a dynamic and to create a shade. And then you have the side light, which is literally comes to create even more shade and create even more depth. And you have the light behind me, which separates me from the background, and by doing it you create more depth, you create more dynamic, you create that 3D type of effect, and people are gonna keep their attention even more. When people are gonna watch your videos, they're gonna know it's from you, not that anybody else, just from you. What I have is an LED panel, and I had it some times ago because this is the first light that I actually got when I went from using the natural light to having an artificial light. The ring light, I got it this year only, at the same time I got the camera. Looking at Peter McKinnon and all those type of content creators, I was honestly obsessed with getting my videos to that type of quality, and I'm still working through it. It's not super big, so the beautiful thing about the LED panel is that you can walk around with it. So if you need to shoot any video outside, you don't need to have the key light, you don't need to have the ring light necessarily. You just need to have a light source. Use the natural light as being the main light and the LED panel as being the second source of light. Let's get to the setup, the space, because if you have a small space, you want to be really strategic. Place yourself in a way where you have depth, or you can create depth, a distance between you and then the wall or any type of back. That's gonna create even more depth. So if you're not ready to invest in a lens that the one that I have at the moment, create a depth. If even then you are not able to create a big distance, create a type of dynamic. So you can have the books like the one that I have behind me. You can have a couple of tabs. You can have a couple of interesting elements that could create even more dynamic. So it could be the books, it could be the little objects, it could be the little cool things that you want to display that are maybe related to your own industry, a quotes or anything related to that. The background is not going to be very distracting, but it's still going to be interesting. It's going to complement whatever you're going to say. You feel like they just absorb your content, they read it, they hear it, so that creates something else, that creates a feeling. That to be careful about not having a messy background because I know usually when we have to record, and if you're using the same space that you use for, let's say, your living room, type of room that you're using because you don't have an extra space for that. At the same time, I always make sure to really fix any mess that I can have in the background, but at the same time the blurry effect helps a lot. I have to say, gotta say, you don't want to have to blend with the background. So to create that depth again, you can wear anything with the prints, anything with brighter colors, because it's still gonna separate you from the back. White wall, for example, wearing white is gonna make you blend even more. These extra batteries, Lord knows when you have just one battery and when it runs out you need to wait, and sometimes it's just like wasting time when you can record 3-4 videos in a day where you just record video in a batch. The second thing is the remote. That is something that helped me so much. Don't want to get up all the time to be able to just press play, because again it makes you waste time. That's an amazing way. Same thing when you want to take pictures for your thumbnails. You don't have to really always play on the press button and have to put the timer. It's just less hassle to have a remote. Let's just do it. But if you don't have a remote at the moment, or you can use your phone as a remote. Camera Canon app to connect your camera to your phone. It does wonder because you can then adjust anything from your phone instead of having to put and press the button every single time. To do a video on it, or if you want me to do a video on how to set up to improve the quality of your videos, I'm gonna add a couple of points on that. And if you want to know that, or if you want me to do the complete video on that, tell me down below. The last part is all about editing and using your camera as a way to have lives or streaming. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I used to use Final Cut Pro. I feel like you have more options, or you have more ways of making your videos being a little bit more creative. So that's something that I get to use a lot, and that I get to use for all my videos really at this point. Canva is great for the graphic, as you can see on my thumbnails or any type of title that I have on my videos. I did my logo on Canva, I did my titles on Canva, I did all my graphics on Canva, and any graphics that you see usually on my videos, they are from Canva. And the reason why I did it that way is just because I use After Effects, but my computer is a bit outdated, let's just put it that way, and because of that, everything is slow. So when I use After Effects, it takes so much time because it takes so much power of the computer to be able to work on the creative and adding the titles or animate them, or just add it, or just using animated titles. and sometimes it takes way too much time for my own sake. So what I decided to do for the time being was to use Canva and using animations from my Adobe Premiere Pro to make it in a way where it just becomes an animation. That takes a bit more time, but it's okay because at the end of the day that's something that I love, and I really want to just push myself a little bit more to be able to be more creative, even if I have limited ways of doing it. So as I said before, if you are somewhere where you can't invest in everything or anything, start with something you have. I want to know how I get to use Canva, how I get to use Adobe Premiere Pro. That's a part of my coaching program because you have access to that course. Anything from your home without having to have me all the time to guide you through it. So by the time you're signing up to my coaching program, you're gonna have access to that course as well. I'm gonna go much deeper into the editing part, but let me know if that's something that you are actually interested in me doing it here. I've been editing my videos for over 10 years. Everything is gonna be down below. I think that was pretty much it for me for today. I hope it was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any struggle when it comes to recording, shooting, or just scripting your videos. For the scripting, especially if you don't speak English, that's something that could be really helpful. So let me know if that's something that you want me to do here. Follow me on Instagram. There's a couple of things that I do there every day where I share a lot of things that I do behind the scene and a couple of tips and tricks, and of course being able to talk to more of you, obviously. Subscribe, turn on the notification button so that you know whenever I have a new video coming up, because YouTube is not the best at notifying you whenever I have those new videos. So I would love for you to be the premier people to be able to have access to it. I will see you on my next video, and until then, like I say all the time, smile because it's free and contagious in a good way.